Hey everyone, Art Burns here. Hope you're all doing well today. I'm coming at you from inside again because today it is snowing. It has been for the last 24 hours out here in Colorado in the middle of April, which is not terribly uncommon, but after 3 Aprils out here, I still haven't gotten used to it. It still baffles me. But anyway, I'm inside today. I hope the weather where you are is pleasant, and if it's not, I hope you're coping with it in a positive way, and I hope that it gets better soon. But today I wanted to talk to you about is saying that I use for myself and for anyone else who I can share it with. The saying is called "I'm too curious to be furious." Right now, what this means is that you know that when I can remain curious, right? When I can allow myself to stay open to whatever situation might arise, whatever experience might arise. I can stay open to it with a curiosity, which indicates the lack of judgment, the absence of judgment, right? And when I can do this, I'm going to accept whatever's happening. And when I can accept what's happening, it means that I'm going to be free from fear, right? And fear is what always, always, always causes the stress response in our bodies, 100% of the time, right? Now, of course, too furious to be curious indicates an anger kind of emotion. And that's a really important part of what I wanted to talk about today. Most of the emotions that you feel, anger especially, in fact, there's some psychologists who say that anger is not even truly an emotion itself. It's a meta emotion, meaning that it's an emotion of an emotion. It doesn't come just from itself, it comes from other emotions, right? But that's true with most of your emotions, right? Most of your emotions, in fact, almost every emotion, especially the negative emotions that you can feel in your body and experience in your life, are going to be comprised of several different emotions, kind of like a cocktail, it's like a recipe, right? So for instance, anger is often comprised of feelings of shame, feelings of guilt, feelings of jealousy, feelings of fear, right? And fear in almost every negative emotion, fear is involved, right? And once fear is involved, that causes the stress response in our body because we have certain parts of our brain are constantly monitoring our emotions and our thoughts, and as soon as it picks up on something that is based in fear, boom, it begins the stress response, right? Through a series of actions within your body. I don't want to get too into today. I can talk about that offline if you'd like. It's very technical and very deep. But the idea is that when we can remain curious, right, which is to say again to remain open and accepting of our experiences, so that we can, when we feel as though there's something to learn, even from the bad experiences that we might have, then this allows us to not be afraid, right? Curiosity is kind of the opposite of fear, right? Curiosity killed the cat, right? It's, when we're curious about something, we abandon fear. We act in spite of any fear that we might have. And as we develop a habit of curiosity and it's sort of a disposition of curiosity, that's when we can really start to be free from fear all the time. And when we're free from fear all the time, that's when the stress response no longer, we become very resilient to it. It just doesn't even happen in our lives, in our bodies, right? And so of course it's one thing to just remind yourself of this, too curious to be furious, right? I actually have this phone background that I can send to you. I'd be happy to send that to you, and so that every time you look at your phone, you're reminded. I'm too curious to be furious. Like, okay, I remember. I got to remind myself. Got to remind myself, and this will be a good thing to do, right? But the way that you can truly create a habit of curiosity, which is to say a habit of openness and a habit of acceptance, right? The best way to do that is through daily intentional practice, right? Now, the good news is we're not talking about hours and hours and hours every day, right? Like even just a few minutes a day combined with a couple of informal ways to complement that base practice, can go a long way. In fact, for a lot of people, it changes everything, right? And so I'd be happy to tell you about some of these practices. Okay, again, not talking about hours and hours and hours every day. You're talking about anywhere from like maybe 5 to 10 minutes a day, coupled with just approaching some of the things in your life a little differently, right? When we do this on a daily basis and we set up a cue and a reward around these things that we do, which I can help you do, we then develop a habit, right? And once you develop a habit, it it's automatic, right? So that any experience that you have, you start to approach it with an acceptance and a curiosity so that you're not going to feel the fear, and therefore you're not going to get into the stress response, which is going to close everything down. It's going to cause you a lot of health issues, and it's going to limit your ability to creatively deal with whatever experiences that you're having anyway. So if you'd like to learn about some of this, hit me up with a comment or send me a direct message. Or if you want this wallpaper, I'll be happy to send you. Seriously, I can just email it to you in 2 seconds. So if you want any of this, comment below, send me a direct message. Let's get into a conversation, okay? Let me see if I can help you figure some of this out. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for listening. I wish you well. Stay safe, stay sane, and wash your hands. Talk to you soon. Take care.